Being a full-time videographer is not as hard as most people think it is. Yes, you do need some technical skill on how to create a good image and provide your client with a good result, but assuming you already know how to do that, the business aspect is the most important. So here are 3 steps you can take in 2025 to get clients, charge more, and grow your business. What's going on, guys? My name is Zak Kincaid. I'm a full-time content creator and production company owner. I've created videos for brands like the Chicago Sky and Ford. I've worked with celebrities such as Dwayne Wade and Joyner Lucas, and I've filmed some multi-billion-dollar properties in Manhattan, some of the most expensive real estate in the country. And I say all this not to brag, but more so let you know that it's doable for anyone. In fact, I've met people who are much better videographers and filmmakers than I am, but they do not make a living doing it, and I do. Now, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a course or a product I'm trying to sell you, but I have been able to provide for myself for the past 4 years, and I've gotten to do some really cool shoots and enjoy my work. And I'm guessing if you're watching this video, that's probably all you could ask for. And achieving where I am now is actually pretty obtainable. So this video is going to be unscripted, unpolished. I'm just going to give you some actionable steps that you can take to turn this passion, or really any passion you have, into a career. I'm not saying you're going to make over 100K your first year. I'm not saying you're ever gonna make 100K. Although if you put your head down and keep working, the chances of you hitting that number are pretty high. So first things first, let's talk about where to actually get clients from. If you wanna go more of the commercial route, job sites such as LinkedIn and Upwork have gigs posted to them all of the time. Upwork is a little bit more, I wouldn't say bottom of the barrel. You can find some diamonds in the rough there, but typically the people who are going on Upwork, they're trying to get something relatively cheap, which if you're just starting out could be a great way to build your portfolio while making some cash. LinkedIn, conversely, there's probably jobs that are going to pay more, but they're also looking for someone to be an employee. And if that's what you want to do, if you don't care about running your business, you just want to be able to work with a camera, go for one of those. If you do want to own your own business and you want to have that flexibility, you can always message the job poster and say, hey, I know you're looking for someone for this role. If you have a need to fulfill this service now, I'd be more than happy to work as a contractor until you find someone. When a company posts a job, it's because they have a need that they need to fill. And sometimes the job search can take multiple months. So if you could step in and provide them with a service, you can get a couple weeks, if not a month worth of steady income right there. And if they like your work, they may just stick with you as a contractor. And to put my money where my mouth is, a LinkedIn job inquiry is actually how I landed working with the Chicago Sky, which eventually led me to shooting with Dwayne Wade. If you want to go more of the filmmakers route, get on Facebook, join some kind of filmmaking group, and take up work as a PA. Start networking, meet these people. That's how you're going to get in that side of the industry. Once you get some experience, you can go on job boards such as Snag a Job, Mandy, Backstage. There's going to be a lot of crew postings there that are all going to be paid work. But again, most of those roles are a little bit more established, so you're going to want to build up some experience first. Now, if there's a specific company you want to work with, reach out to their marketing director on LinkedIn and just start a conversation. Don't ask for any work yet. Just introduce yourself and give them a compliment about some of the work they've been doing. If they're a marketing manager, they're more than likely posting their stuff on LinkedIn. There are a lot of AI tools out there that will scour the internet for people with the job role that you want to reach out with, and then you can set up email campaigns where it'll reach out, but they're more than likely gonna know that this is an automated campaign. I receive them in my inbox daily. You probably do as well. And what do? You immediately put those to spam. And while yes, outreach is extremely important, having a more personalized approach has yielded me better results. I promise you, if you just head down and do this and you show that you're genuine, you will find someone who's going to take a shot on you. And once you start getting a little money in from that, then you can scale your outreach operation to include stuff like paid ads and automated marketing. All right, now you've got the client on the phone. They want to work with you. How much should you charge them? The simple answer to this is ask them what their budget is. I almost guarantee you they're not gonna throw the number out, because there's this old adage that whoever throws a number out first in a deal loses. But it will get them saying something along the lines of, oh, we've never worked on a project like this before. How much should it cost? Or, oh, we're trying to get quotes from a bunch of different people to see who we wanna go with. They're just like you when you're buying groceries. You're gonna price shop a little bit because every dollar counts. And that's where you can use a technique called anchoring. Basically, you're gonna give them a low number that it could possibly cost and a high number that it could also possibly cost, but which would also kind of seem ridiculous for them to pay. So for example, you could say a project like this could run anywhere from $500 to $10,000. It really just depends on how much you're wanting to put into it. And the more budget we have, the more resources I can allocate towards it to provide a better video. Giving them this low number tells them that the barrier to entry isn't as steep as they were probably thinking, and this should loosen them up in the conversation because they more than likely are thinking, okay, maybe I can't afford this, rather than if you just give them a high number, they're going to shut down. They don't want to talk anymore. On the second hand, the high number tells them that, hey, this may be a little bit more than I was expecting to pay. Maybe I should prep for a higher number than I was thinking. I promise you, if you want to charge $4,000 for a shoot and you tell them it's going to be about $4,000, they're going to ask you to do it for less. Versus if you say it could be anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, what's your budget range? They might give you a range between $3,000 and $5,000. You come in at $4,000 and they're like, great, I'm getting a deal. Psychology's crazy, man. And that's another point. Once you do this anchoring, make sure to ask for a budget range and say it exactly like this. So I've seen projects like this go from $1,000 all the way up to $10,000. It really just depends on what you're looking for. Obviously, the more budget we have, the more resources I can allocate towards your project. So do you have a budget range in mind by chance? I'm not trying to max out your budget, but I do kind of want to get a ballpark estimate of where you are. That way I can start brainstorming on what exactly kind of video we could create for you that would solve your need. They may beat around the bush a little bit, but you'll probably get, we were looking to spend roughly $3,000 to $5,000. That's when you dive into the numbers and you say, hey, this is going to cost this. I'm going to need a small crew. I'm bringing some lighting. I'm bringing some audio. I think we could get this for around $5,000, but I know that is at the top of your budget. So I'll tell you what, we're actually running a promotion right now. I'm not sure if you'd be interested in this, but if you wanted to pay everything in full in advance, we're actually running a 20% off promotion right now. That'll bring you directly in the middle at $4,000. Does that sound like a deal? Boom. If they believe in your service, 4 out of 5 times they're going to jump out of the deal because they're not only not paying $10,000, they're not even paying $5,000. You're giving them another 20% off. So they're saving even more by working with you, even though in reality, it's just the estimated price of what you were looking to make anyway. Now, if they don't want to pay everything up front, it's not a big deal. It just means they don't fully believe in your service yet. So this is when you can say, okay, well, on that $5,000, we'll break it into 2 different payments. It's going to be 50% due on deposit and then 50% due however many days after completion. You can do net 14, you can do net 30. That depends on you. They might say okay to that, and then you make an extra $1,000, but you're also taking on additional risk in case you have to chase down that second payment, which does happen. So it makes sense why it costs a little bit more. And if they don't take that as a last resort, you could say, okay, well, if I could get it closer to that upfront cost, but still break it down into 2 payments, is that something you'd feel comfortable moving forward with? If they say yes, that's called a soft close. You can come down on your original price until you get an agreement, but do not match what your original paid in full price is if you're going to break it down in 2 payments. That will make your paid in full price not seem as valuable, and your client will start to think that you're charging them more than it actually could have cost. If they say no, say, I'm sorry, that's really as low as I'm able to go feasibly without cutting into my business. I do want to work with you though. Is there a specific number in mind? Let's say they throw out $3,000. The last thing you want to do is be money hungry. If you don't want to take it for that price, don't do it. Don't devalue your service. But if you do want that deal, you can say, well, I don't think I can provide that original package at that price. But I mean, I think we could do something kind of similar. Maybe if we bring 1 less crew member and we cut the editing hours down, you won't get as polished as a product, but I still think you're going to get a good result. If we could get you at that price point, would that be something you're willing to do? You're still going to end up providing them a video, but you're able to cut your upfront cost and give them a video in the price range of what they were looking for, if you want to go that low. Don't be afraid to say no and walk away. Now, you've got those clients, you've started closing deals. How do you actually scale? This is probably the hardest part of any business. You need to hire people and you need to trust them. The last thing you want to do is cut corners and save money by hiring someone who can do the job, but you're always having to supervise them. The only reason you're hiring people is to free up your time to do other things. So if you're constantly having to go over their work, you're constantly having to revise what they're doing, you're not really saving that much more time, and you're actually spending more by doing that than if you would have just hired someone who's a little bit more expensive. Now, if you sold them a package that's going to take that original footage and cut it down into, say, YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels, that's a great time to hire those offshore editors that you're going to see from India, China. Those are videos that if you need to tweak what they end up sending you before sending it off to your client, it's going to be a much easier fix because the audio and the color more than likely was already completed. But on your main can't edit, if you're looking to hire an editor, you want to hire a good one. There's a big difference between someone who can edit and someone who is a professional editor. Finding someone who can understand exactly what you're looking for and edit to the style that your client is looking for is going to save you so many headaches on back and forth. Now, along with editing, when you're looking to scale, that's when you can bring on a contractor to help you with marketing, to help you with sales. Those are the natural steps you need to take, and you have to trust them. They're gonna mess up sometimes. It happens. You're gonna mess up sometimes if you're doing it. But if you're constantly worried about what the product being delivered to your client is and you don't have trust in your team, you're just gonna end up spending money on a product that you're not happy with and then your client's not happy with either. So if you're looking to scale with the mindset of providing your clients a better and faster service, not with the mindset of just cutting your price so you can get more in. You may be able to get more money quickly that way, but if you scale slowly, you're gonna build a brand that people trust and they're gonna wanna keep coming back to you, and that's how you build consistency and make it a true career. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. I hope you got some value out of this. I know that following these steps, it is a lot of work, but you're gonna build something you're proud of, and that's not just to make some cash. Now, if you want to see my process on how I provide a good service to my clients, specifically when it comes to pre-production, by the way, that is the majority of your product, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to have a video coming out soon all about my pre-production process and how I plan out my shoots to ensure success. If you have any questions or you've been struggling with anything in your business that you think I might be able to help with, go ahead and leave a comment. I probably won't be able to get back to all of them, but I always will try to. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.